Hey guys, Brian here at home, and I wanted to make a quick video on the basic structure of a workout. And the overriding principle in your training, no matter what you're doing, is that slow is good, but slower is better. If I can sell you on one idea in this video, that would be it. When you slow down, not only do you load the muscles more efficiently, resulting in a much more efficient workout, but you also reduce the amount of force that your joints and muscles are exposed to, making your workouts significantly safer. You're going to be much more likely to cause tendinitis in any of your tendons. I mean, specifically the elbow. A lot of people get tendinitis by lifting too heavy and trying to jerk the weight up, and so they'll get tendinitis in that elbow from their bicep curls. You are also going to be significantly less likely to strain or pull a muscle. There's nothing worse than trying to jerk up a weight and you pull your back because you were trying to move this weight really fast. Don't move the weight fast, move the weight very slowly. So that is the first idea for every trainee, no matter what you're doing. As long as you are training to improve your strength, no matter what equipment you're using or what protocol you're using, you need to move slower. So when I say the basic structure of a workout, this is going to be geared more towards beginners who are trying to create a workout that is not too intense and that gives them good bang for their buck. You need to create a workout. You need to select enough exercises that you've hit all or at least most of the major muscle groups, but not so much exercise that you are just completely gassed in between each exercise. High intensity training requires you to give your absolute best during each rep of every exercise. And if you are too tired because you've selected too much exercise during the workout, then your later exercises are really going to suffer and be lame. And if you don't train hard enough, you're not going to be stimulating any adaptations or any improvements to your body. So it's essential that you train hard enough that you are stimulating your body to respond by increasing your strength. And if you're too tired to train intensely, you're just wasting your time. So you can't select too much exercise, but you need to select enough. And the question becomes, what is kind of the minimum amount necessary? And I guess the practical minimum, the shortest workout, the shortest effective workouts that I've ever seen have been some guy that just does a 1.5 minute pull-up, a single pull-up that takes 1.5 minutes. 30 seconds up, a 30-second hold, and then a 30-second negative. And then he alternates that with the next week. He alternates that with the push and the vertical plane. And so he does the overhead press, the shoulder press. And he takes 30 seconds going up, 30 seconds hold, and then 30 seconds coming down. And then the next week he does the push, and he does a 1.5 minute push-up. And he goes through all of the exercises that target the major muscle groups, taking 30 seconds up, 30 seconds hold, 30 seconds down. And that is enough for him. So practically speaking, you could get away with one exercise that is really intense and lasts 1.5 minutes. But for most people, for most beginners that are just getting into training, especially if you're, say, a truck driver, I've been doing a lot of shout outs to you guys lately. If you're in the truck and you're looking to get fit and healthy, because you've been living such a sedentary lifestyle inside the truck, most of you, I didn't, but that doesn't mean that that most truck drivers don't, you're going to be in pretty terrible metabolic conditioning, and you're just not going to have the energy to do 10 exercises. So what if it was only 5? What if you only needed like a handful of exercises to stimulate most of the adaptations that you're looking for? Well, it turns out that's about what you need. So at a practical minimum, you need some kind of leg press, some kind of compound leg movement that involves flexion and extension of both the hip and the knees. And this could be something like, let me grab my red marker. This could be something like a leg press machine, or it could be a body squat, a body weight squat. This could also be things like a Romanian deadlift. It doesn't matter what you use. Your body has no idea that you're doing body weight squats versus a leg press versus using a barbell. What matters is the demand for force production, and that you train with enough effort to stimulate the adaptions in the muscles that are being targeted by these exercises. So that's what you basically need for legs. And pick your favorite. Pick what'll work. Pick what you have access to. If you're a truck driver, maybe you can only do body weight squats, and maybe you can't even do full squats. Maybe you can only do squats through the top part of the range of motion. You do your squats until you get to parallel, and then you come back up. That's fine. That is a great place to start from. And if that is intense for you, then that is where you should start. There is no sense in going to the gym when you're completely deconditioned and loading up a bar with incredibly heavy amounts of weight relative to your strength, and then trying to squat that, and you blow a disc, and now you can't drive if you're a truck driver. Your livelihood is gone, your back is ruined, and you have just set yourself up for a life of doctor's visits and surgeries and all kinds of complications, and you don't want that. So start here. Nothing wrong with starting with body weight squats. In fact, unless someone can do a 20-second one leg body weight squat, you can't tell me that that body weight training has nothing to offer you. So for other movements, or for other planes of motion, you need some kind of push in the horizontal plane, a pull in the horizontal plane, a push in the vertical plane, and a pull in the vertical plane. And these could be like a push-up. You could do a push-up. You could do dumbbell bench, or a barbell, or a barbell bench press. You could also use a chest press machine. Your body doesn't care what you use to do this as an exercise, as long as you pick something. For a pull in the horizontal plane, we're talking about some kind of a row. You can do like a compound row. You can do a body weight row. You could sit on a bench and do incline rows, and it doesn't matter what you do. So incline rows. For a push in the vertical plane, we're talking about a shoulder press. So shoulder press, and you can use a barbell, you can use dumbbells, you could use a machine, you could use body weight exercises like the pike press. So you can use the pike press. You could use what's also called the handstand push-ups, or a jackknife press. And you can look all these up on YouTube. For a pull in the vertical plane, you're talking about a pull-up, basically. You're talking about a pull-up, or a chin-up, or you're talking about any kind of a pull-down. So like a pull-down machine, you can pull it to you. Pull down. You're also talking about pullovers, any kind of a dumbbell pullover or pullover machine. What you use doesn't matter. Pick your favorite. I think I mentioned body weight exercises on all of these things. If you're a truck driver and you're in the truck and you don't have access to a gym and you don't have any equipment whatsoever, you can do body weight squats, you can do push-ups, you can do the pike press, you can do body rows, so you can just find something hip height and just pull yourself off it. I was able to do these inside my truck. Um, you know where the gear shifter is, where the two seats are. You've got your driver's seat, you've got your jump seat there. Adjust your seats all the way up and put some kind of a bar, like a broom handle or something. Put that over the top so that it creates a bar. Lay under the bar, reach up and grab and pull yourself up and lower yourself back down. There's your body rows. As far as pull-ups go, you could do pull-ups, you can do chin-ups. Those were always kind of challenging to find a place to do. And you may not be able to do pull-ups. You may not be able to do chin-ups. But you can most certainly buy a dumbbell or get something heavy inside your truck and do pullovers with it. You can most certainly do time static contraction pull-downs using a device that I can show you how to make. I can show you how to make a strap, an adjustable strap that you can loop over whatever you can manage to find and do static pull-downs. So this is basically all you need, and you can begin to pepper in exercises for like your neck or your abs or your forearms or your calves. But if you're a beginner, generally speaking, those kinds of isolation exercises aren't going to be necessary and may not even be possible until you become better conditioned metabolically. Because strength is not just about the size of your muscles or the strength of your muscles. It's not just about the amount of force that your muscles are capable of producing, but it's also about the energy systems that support your muscles. If your energy systems are not conditioned to supply your muscles with the energy they require at the rate that they require it to produce enough force for the exercises that you're doing, then your muscles aren't going to be able to handle all this work. You may be strong enough in absolute strength to perform every one of these exercises, but when you start putting them all together, you're just completely ragged out by the time you get to your 6th or 7th exercise, and those exercises suffer. You're not going to be able to train with intensity. So you probably don't need to add in isolation exercises for any of these things until you get better conditioned. And more to the point, if you're a beginner and you're doing something like a leg press, provided you're training intensely enough, your calves are going to get all of the work that they need in a heavy leg press until you become an advanced trainee and you're much better conditioned. But right at the beginning, I can't see any reason why you would need to add heel raises if you're doing leg presses. Now, if you're doing body weight squats, then you may need to add in some heel raises. The calves are not worked as intensely during a simple body weight squat as they are in something like a leg press or something like deadlifts. So you will need probably to pepper in some heel raises once you get better conditioned. At first, this is enough. These 5 exercises, pick your favorite, this is enough. Anytime you're doing one of these pulling motions, your forearms are going to be involved. Your forearm is involved anytime you're gripping something, and anytime you're gripping something strenuously. So if you're doing deadlifts and you're doing compound rows and pull-ups or pull-downs, your forearms and your biceps are going to be worked very, very hard, especially in the beginning. In fact, most beginners have the opposite problem. It's not that they need to do direct work for their forearms and their biceps. It's usually that their forearms and their biceps are so weak relative to their lats that on exercises like the pull down and the row, it is their forearms that are their weak link. Their forearms give out before their lats get any kind of real stimulation. And so if anything, what beginners would want to do is pre-exhaust their lats with some kind of a pullover and then go do a pull down exercise rather than do any direct work for their forearms. Same thing with abdominal exercises, you'll notice that I haven't mentioned abs up here, and that's because your abs should be sufficiently engaged in all of this. Like your core should be involved in all of this, especially things like deadlifts, and especially things like push-ups. And you're going to notice that your abs will be very sufficiently engaged if you're doing pull downs correctly. When you get down to the bottom here, you just bend forward and give yourself a slight crunch as you go back up. You should be engaging your abs during all of these exercises, and it's not until later that you're going to need direct abdominal work. And doing abs does nothing to doing abdominal work does nothing to give yourself six-pack abs, and does nothing to spot reduce fat directly over the abdominal. Spot reduction is bullshit. But this video is approaching 17 minutes, so I need to wrap it up. This has been the basic structure of a beginner's workout. This is to say nothing of split routines or any sort of advanced work. I hope this video has been instructional for you. I hope that you've learned something out of this. And if you have any questions, please feel free to send me an email. And as always, if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks.